Wholeness, welcome. This is Josh of Inner Skilled, and today I have Audrye Arbe with me. Audrye, what's going on?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say isn't going on. Um, Everybody, not everybody, let me just say practically everybody these days is discussing resilience and how to raise your frequency and how to live. I'm laughing when I say this. How to live in the midst of tremendous change, how to live in the midst of people who are in denial of all of what's going on. So I have had, I'm going to call it a practical life course in almost all of this, in addition to all the work I've done in the past. Um, what am I? I know people, what are you? Okay. I don't even know how to answer that anymore. I am a being normally thought of as human, although I wonder on occasion because others have said you're a star seed, embrace it. So, nah, nah, nah. So I am a being in the midst of change, shifting my frequency to as high as I can get it, dealing with anger, frustration, upset. Uh, a dearly beloved person right now is in the hospital having had brain surgery, and there are some other things that need to happen before there's open heart surgery. So if on occasion, in the midst of this, I look a little sad, it's because I flashed onto her, who is my little sister, and I feel she's going to get better, just so you understand this. I really do. And I send healing energy, all that stuff, and I've got a community, and blah, 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 blah. Nonetheless, this is my little sister. So I am in Costa Rica. I am from the States, started in New York, and then also to Florida. So I can discuss a lot of things. If you want to know, what are you? I am a born mystic intuitive. I'm a psychic. If you don't like that word, I'm a clairvoyant. I'm an author. I'm just going to say a writer, the same thing. I'm an artist. I am a being who loves being alive, who is emotional. I've not reached any place where I'm not emotional. I'm born under the sun sign of Cancer, and we really own being emotional and having to get centered. And I'm here to help whomever, ever I can in their journey.
Well, beautiful, Audrye, and where to start with all that? Well, I wish your friend well, of course. And what I was thinking is right off the bat, we talked before the show about a breathing energy or a breathing technique. And why don't we just, before we get into any of the other stuff, because of that, I think that's a good enough reason just to start with that. Why don't we start with that off the bat?
Okay,
You'd be okay with
so,
that?
oh yeah, I love this one.
Sure.
So my favorite is one called The Lifting Process. I learned it from Patricia Hayes, not Louise Hay, Patricia Hayes, when I was studying what do we want to call them? The clairs, the healing techniques. And this is something that is extremely simple to do. You don't really do anything, you allow, and the process is to lift oneself higher in frequency. And you can get very technical, quote unquote technical, and say we're lifting from the third dimension into the spiritual realm. I'm going to take these things off because whenever I do this stuff, any kind of jewelry, and I love jewelry, kind of gets in the way because it buzzes. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, then we're going to do it. Then you're going to sit in it for a moment, and then I'll bring you out of it. And first, I will be sending healing energy to you. If someone doesn't want it, it won't go to you. You have dominion over your being. So I'm going to be sending healing energy to your heart because I just love doing that. And I'm a channel, so we all can. By the way, I'm not the only one. And then the process and the words, you're going to slowly and softly repeat to yourself. Although I'll say it for you, but when you do it on your own, that's it. I'm getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. And you allow. That is it. And you allow it to happen, and then we'll see how you are. So just notice how you're feeling right now. I am going to lift my frequency, and I can't talk when I do that. Then I'm going to start sending healing energy to you. My hands might move and all that. Don't get caught up in looking at any of that. Be with yourself. Okay, whatever I do is just what I do, and allow that. Okay, thank you. Breathe loving light into your heart. Allow yourself to know you're loved and protected and blessed. Allow yourself to be beyond anything you may have thought you're capable of being. Embrace the miracle of existence. And as you breathe, and you can breathe slowly and gently, allow yourself to get higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. You're getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. Higher, lighter, freer, open, protected, blessed, miracles, beauty, prosperity, peace, passion, beauty. Higher, higher, lighter, freer. Allow yourself to dwell in this energy, which is natural to you. And if you choose, you may send healing energy to any aspect of your being and your life. You may go through time. Just allow it and enjoy this. I will bring you out when it is correct. Now, enjoy. Enjoy. I shall slowly begin to bring you forth, keeping your eyes closed. You may slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. You may slowly begin to move your hands on your wrists, your feet on your ankles. Slowly begin to pat your body and move. Have your head gently, relaxedly upright on your neck, facing forward. And as you feel ready, slowly and gently, you may begin to open your eyes and glance with what we call a soft eye and notice how you feel. And when you're ready to answer, how do you feel?
It's a beautiful energy. I noticed like kind of a warmth and tingling in my chest. More importantly, my shoulders. I felt like some supporting, nourishing energy going to my shoulders, which are a lot of times kind of locked and frozen. So it kind of went to where I needed it, I felt. And if we can dedicate this, the benefits of this to your friend.
My
If she's
sister.
willing to, it is your sister. Okay.
My
Yes.
sister Carol.
Your sister. Okay.
My
Yes.
my sister Carol.
Yeah. I would like
That
to
she's getting better. Thank you.
dedicate this to her and in all beings everywhere that are experiencing similar challenges. Um,
Yes.
it reminded me too of a practice I do called the Brahma Viharas, or the sublime abodes and dwelling places. And one of them is loving kindness. And it's one of the other things we want to talk about. And it's just sending well wishing, may I and even all beings be happy. May we be safe. May we be at ease, and may we realize awakening and be free and healthy and strong too.
And
Audrey?
I really thank you for that. Everybody who's watching,
Audrey, are
I
you
am
there?
okay. I am not thrilled that my sister is going through this, understand this. I am as well as I can be in this. And yes, I'll state the obvious. I want, I intend, I allow for her to be well. That's all I will say. I even told Source they could take 5 years from whatever my life might be to give to her. Okay? Because I know I've got way more than that. I know that. Just if that would be of service, okay? In terms of human beings, what we are, and I've been around for a little bit, but I've noticed what we really are in our core when we get to our core, no matter who we may be from wherever, we are peace and light. When I do readings, I mean, I'm a psychic, I do readings, okay? When I do readings with people, whether they're in front of me or wherever they are, because I can do them anywhere, that's what I see. That's what I feel. All the other stuff, my technical term is junk, Junque, if you want to be fancy, is stuff people have overlaid on it. Or you can call it genetic karmic patterning. That's what my guides call it, from whenever, wherever, whomever. This is the time to be shifting, releasing, and letting go. And people who are wondering, because I'm wondering, why are we going through this? Why does it look like so many things are falling apart? Certain things quite openly have to fall apart because they've been askew, they've been out of balance, they've been inappropriate. I can come up with a lot of words. It needs to. Because, I mean, take a look at the earth. This is our home. We are the species that were meant to take care of this planet. And no one needs to tell me about the reptoids or whatever they're called or any of this. That's just shifting blame. I'm sorry, but that's really what that is. And I'm pretty upfront. And at this point in my life, I'm in my 8th decade, I am very upfront. And lovingly, kindly, but very upfront. There's no time to just make excuses. That's over. And can we all be well? We can. Does it take some effort? Yes, it does. Do I have to work on myself? Yes, I do. I'm not exempt. And if there's anyone who'll give you a list, my own child will, okay, who loves me dearly, who I love, and all of that. If you ever want to know how well you're doing, ask your kids, ask your family, and you'll get whatever kind of report you might get.
Yeah, who was that Ram Dass that said, you know, if you think you have any kind of spiritual accomplishment, go spend time with your family, right?
Then you'll see. How do you handle it? Are you still calm? Okay, because that is one of the things. And that's what my guides call genetic karmic patterning. What that is, okay? In simpler language, I'm going to make this as simple and understandable as possible because we don't need overcomplication. And can I do that with words? Frankly, I can. When we're born and we take in our first breath, we are breathing in everything that's going on in the realm at that time from every dimensional reality, timeline, okay? Plus which, whatever previous quote unquote life experiences of consciousness we may have experienced, whether it's in our genetic background or past lives we were whatever, from whatever planet, from whatever species, from whatever the ever, we're breathing that in. And if we don't release some of that, again, junk, because some of it is, then, or get to understand it so we could shift it, then we're going to propagate it. And if someone says, I've been told this by I don't know how many people, oh, I have forgiven everybody. No, they haven't. A wonderful healer named David Markowitz many years ago in New York gave me this definition for forgiveness. And this is the one I use, and this is the one I teach, and he's the one I credit. Forgiveness is, letting go of any negative effect of anything that anyone either did or did not do to you or with you, or that you observed. If you're still having any of the negative effect, there's no forgiveness. Because forgiveness is a way of freeing the self. And I spell self, capital S, little s, ELF, capital S, soul, essence, self, because that's what we are, little s, ego, personality, self. And many people devote the ego, personality, self, which is important. But if you forget or ignore the soul, essence, self, you've missed the mark, quite frankly. And that's part of what has to be. Has nothing to do with religion. This isn't, which is right. That's immaterial. You may not like that, but really it's immaterial. That's all ego stuff on one level. And right, wrong, better, worse. Okay. We're all, each and every one of us, an aspect of the whole, all of us. And I actually have been blessed to have had an experience where I had a near-death experience actually when I was birthing my daughter. And in part of it, I went to this realm that's like unbelievable and spoke with, I call them the shiny light beings. Some people may want to give names to them. You don't need to. It isn't like I don't know a bazillion names. They were the shiny light beings, and they gave me the choice to live or die. They said it would be easier for me to die and go through that door over there. And my body was in the hospital doing what it was doing. The me, the essence, the me. And it felt like me, felt like I had a body, okay, was speaking to these beings. I stopped my little foot and I told them I was going to live. I was going to have my daughter. I didn't care what it took. That's what I was going to do. And they told me, if especially the one I seemed to know better, said if I chose to do that, I was going to do it alone. It was going to be difficult, and I'd have to take off my rose-colored glasses. I have done it alone. I'm a single woman. Okay. Has it been difficult? Yeah. And the rose-colored glasses are gone. And am I glad I did this? Yeah.
Wow.
I've got
You put so much on the table here, Audrey. Some great things here. Self-responsibility. I couldn't agree more with that. No one is responsible for our actions other than us. We have to take self-responsibility for our own actions. We can't control everything that happens to us, but we have to be responsible for how we view it and how we respond to it, right? And we have the choice of where we put our attention and what we pay attention to and how we pay attention to it as well. The other thing you talked about, I think the picture you painted of interconnectivity and how vast and powerful that interconnectivity, and you brought it into the immediate sense of the breath too, because we miss one half breath, that's it. And so that I love how you painted that picture. Because we don't really think of in profundity so much that way that you painted that. And there was another thing in there that I'm blanking on now because I was taken by your near-death experience. These I've had a few, but I wouldn't. I haven't had like a near-death experience like that. But these, of course, as we know, these are life-changing moments for people, and they really give us a picture of what is beyond our mundane, day-to-day consensus reality. And I'm always, more times than not, not always, but probably 99% interested in these profound experiences like this and the commonalities in them and the life lessons and the 180 degrees and the profound effects and changes they have on people's lives too. And yeah, it's like night and day after these a lot of times for many folks.
So let me assure people, this was a near death. I did not die. Okay, I'm here.
Yes.
The colors were brighter than anything. And I'm an artist. Look, I paint rocks, okay? I make colors. And the energy, the vibration, no matter what you might have experienced, and I've had a few experiences in my life, is beyond anything. Oh my gosh. It's higher, natural high, like the breathing we did, natural high, than anything. And the lovingness, if I really let myself feel it, I'll start crying. And these are tears of joy because it's the sacred, it's the surreal. And it's what we are. And if and when I forget that, because life here could be whatever, get some, you don't have to have a near death experience. I'm not saying go have a near death, but do the breathing attunement. Just do this regularly. Don't wait for an emergency. Higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. Yes, I started you off with sending healing energy because I like doing that. Okay. But you could send it to yourself, or you can listen to Josh's, this podcast, because it's in it, and allow yourself to grow. We need this now. I have friends I turn to. I have a bunch of friends, but I have only a few that are really attuned and that I can speak some of this stuff. And they support and help me and tell me when I need to make a little shift. And I support and help them. If you don't have your own community, online or in person or however, please create that. Especially we are now in the age of Aquarius. We're actually in it a little bit more than just our toes. And that is community in one way, shape, form, or another. Unusual. It's not going to be whatever you think is the norm, and the norm is gone. We have new norms that aren't yet norms. Okay, so if someone's wondering what's the new norm, we haven't figured it out yet. We're in the midst of, we're like, what do they call that? When the caterpillar is in the chrysalis.
Yes, a metamorphosis. Yes.
We're in the
Big
chrysalis.
transition stage here.
We are
Yes.
creating. So use your ability. And no matter what you may read, and watch what you read, by the way, watch what you watch. Don't look at every kind of horrific thing. I don't care what media it is or what television. Do not engulf yourself in that. It makes an effect on the brain. It makes an effect in the heart. And the heart is connected to the brain. If you don't know about the Heart Math Institute, HMI.com or something like that, look it up. Okay, there's a brain in the heart, stronger than the brain in the brain. And get in touch with this stuff. Because
Totally. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that's absolutely. It's like I used to tell people. I got rid of my TV years ago, and it's like opening a raw sewage pipe in your house. A lot of it. I mean, we eat food. Just think about, well, there's certain foods you wouldn't eat. Well, there shouldn't be certain programs that we watch either. Actually, as a disclaimer, after years of abstaining, some of my fiance and I were going back and watching certain things, but I realized how resensitized I am to this stuff. How I'm like yelling at the TV, "Why are you lying? Look at the things that are going to happen to you." And then there's just like, you have to turn away for some of these things. It's just, it's pretty crazy, the stuff that's allowed on media. Now, the thing I remembered now, what you said, and then community. I say this quite a bit, that we're in community no matter whether we want to be or not. The people around us, even if we're boxed off from them or where we live, the people and things around us is our community. If we don't consciously choose that, we're still going to be in some kind of community. Even if you're a solitary yogi out in nature, there's going to be the animals and the rocks and the plants and trees around. So we're going to be in community. We don't live in a vacuum. So what kind of community do we want to choose to be around? What kind of support do we want to give ourselves and give other folks? Now I remember, though, the thing about forgiveness, and it was so important and still is on my path. And I love the definition you gave there. It almost deserves a little bit more walking through there. Because sometimes when we do these practices, some automatic for us, and then some people, it throws a little bit too much out there. And I think the word itself, I've talked about this with folks, and it seems to be a loaded word for a lot of people because of the old religious baggage and connotations. But like you're getting at, this is an unnecessary burden that we're carrying around, and I don't think we can really force forgiveness either. It's going to come when it's time to come. And it's not necessarily for the other person. It's for this unnecessary burden that we're carrying around. And it's like, we don't need to care. It's not hurting them. It's not affecting them that we're still angry at them. They don't probably even know or care, for the most part. And one of the ways I heard recently is forgive me for misunderstanding, like a misunderstanding in myself. And then there's a three-way. It's I can forgive the other person, can ask for forgiveness from the other person. But what I really learned was so powerful is forgiving myself, uh, being brought up in kind of a Christian background. They don't teach you that, they don't teach you that you can forgive yourself. Really powerful. And I also want to preface that with, if I have done something that's harmful to myself and others, is to recognize that and remember that, so I don't hurt myself again, don't hurt another again. But I don't want to take that on as a huge guilt trip, and a shame, blame, and guilt for myself. But I remember, if there is something that I have done to harm myself or another, I'd like to remember that and see that that choice does not lead to anything helpful and beneficial for me or anyone else. So then I can remember that. And when I have that choice, if I have the same choice, then I can choose otherwise. So yeah, if you want to talk just a little bit more about that, and I just noticed it was like a huge clearing. Yeah, it cleared so much. It was such a huge thing. The gunk that we accumulate from years and years of things that I had even forgotten about when I started, all these things were coming up that I had like kind of split off because things were too hard. But then these memories came back up later on in life, and I was able to see and forgive them and release them, what made sense and what was able to during those times. Yes. So if you don't mind repeating that definition and then the negativity version of it. Yes.
Okay. So forgiveness. And again, this is the definition from David Markowitz. I like to give attribution and give people the acknowledgement from things I've learned from them. And then I take it, beyond and beyond and beyond and beyond. But forgiveness is letting go of any negative effect of anything anyone, including the self, did or omitted doing to or around the self, or even something you might have observed. For instance, and people can rattle off, I've heard them say this, oh, I forgive them, I forgive them, I forgive them, okay? And they think they're doing something, but they're doing, in essence, is what Dr. Michael Rice, lowercase is his name, R-Y-C-E, is pardoning them. That is a completely different thing. It's like letting someone off the hook. That is not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is the thing one does with the self. And again, I spell self. You'll see it in a lot of my courses or whatever. Capital S, little s, E-L-F. The capital S is soul, essence, self. The little s is ego, personality, self. And many humans deal almost exclusively with the ego, personality, self. When I hear somebody who doesn't know yet how to lift and say, God said, you know what God said, okay? Some may. I mean, I lift my frequency. I just taught you a way to do it. The lifting process, just practice, keep doing it. And I did a short version. Do it longer. I mean, because we're in a circumstance here. When you're at your own home, do longer. Play with it. Be there. Travel. Feel it. Okay? It's your life. It's your life. Okay? Own it. And I mean that. Own it. And when we allow ourselves to say, OMG, I said whatever it was to who and whatever, and I may have meant ABC, and they took it as QRX, and they're PO'd, and if I don't do something to help clear that, even though I may think I already did, and they're, then to me, because I'm interconnected, and that person means something to me, I will take it upon myself usually to deal with them to help either explain or do something to help correct it. And if they realize said, oh my gosh, I can see where they felt I said QRZ, let me do something to clear that. Number one, in me. In me. And folks, I'm in my 80s. That's why I look like this. I don't look like I'm 13. I would like to, but I don't, okay? I mean, I'm good. I'm the stand-up, but I'm in my 80s, and I am a healthy, healthy, healthy woman, just so you know. So yes, can you be in your 80s and be healthy? Yes, you can. And you can walk and jump and dance and all that stuff. That's on another, okay? But if you ignore who you are out of the misapprehension, which was one of the negative effects of the age of Pisces, it was a misinterpretation that you're here to be some kind of sacrifice. No, you're not here to be a sacrifice, nor are you here to hurt or sacrifice anyone else. You're here to be as much love as you can be, and to be as much love as you can be, it is important to be releasing where you don't love yourself, even the junk, whatever it might be. I am from New York, okay, and sometimes in New York and other places we use certain language that not everybody likes, and I can tell you they don't like it in Costa Rica. Some people for sure don't like it. So occasionally I use the F word when I get upset. It can rip out of my mouth. So I am doing my level best to not have it here. And if I ever use it, I'm upset, by the way. It's not my normal language. And for some people, it's just how they talk. I know a lot of people. I mean, I've been around. I know people from various cultures. It is how some people talk, okay? And so it's not the same as something. But if you refuse what you said about self-responsibility, being responsible for self, we have to be. And I know there are people that are expecting the save and the this and the that. I'm not saying there aren't beings of higher consciousness and higher vibration that have been on the earth. They have been. And whether they were from elsewhere or another timeline or whatever this is, I'm not going to get into that now. That's a whole other conversation, which you could open that, okay? We have all that in us. Whether you look at or what is that one called? I forgot what that's called. The thing that said whatever we're connected to, we have a piece of that within us. We do. So you could claim some of that. Claim the higher consciousness, and then you don't just, I claim it. You have to do something to be it. Like with manifestation, it's very nice to say affirmations and mean them and feel them and gratitudes. But you have to align with them. It's important to actually align with and be that energy as much as possible so they vibrate together, so there could be that kind of thing. And that's what helps uplift all of us. The more anyone uplifts, the more all of us uplift. So if you're going to ask if somebody goes down deep, can that affect us? Yes, frankly, it can, which is why you do clearing on a daily basis.
Yes, energetic hygiene, sure, yeah.
Oh, great language. Energetic, I love it. I love it.
And we all know where attention goes, energy flows, right? What we pay attention to, we give energy to, and it's interactive, and it will, it doesn't happen. What we peer into can peer back at us as well, right? So in a way, so you said some really important things here that I've had discussions with people or talks with people and about this notion of intent and outcome. And you talked, I love the colorful kind of New Yorker language about, I said one thing, they thought I said another, and then this happened and I have to go back. Yes, I always, if there's misunderstandings, or especially if I know I've done something that's not helpful to myself or other, I try to nip it in the bud as soon as I can and go back and, and say, okay, so one of the better things I found, at least for where I'm at now, is I'm 100% responsible for my own intentions, right? Now, when I speak and act, I can't control how they receive how I speak and act 100%, but I am a little bit responsible for that. So what I've found is that, at least where I'm at, is like I'm about 50% responsible for what I say and how I act, and then how the other person receives it. They have some responsibility, because if I could control exactly how everybody took what I said, well, then there would be no misunderstandings, right? They would understand me 100% all the time, I feel. Now, I've heard my fiance said, though, that, eventually we can get to the stage where, we are clairvoyant and psychic enough that I can can kind of see into how they're going to take it, how they will interpret it, how they will understand it, well, then I would seemingly have more responsibility for how they do that. Because if I could see in, how they might take it, I might not say certain things at a certain time, right? And then I would only say in the right way at the right time certain things that I would kind of intuit how they would take it. I'm not there yet, so I can't control how other people receive what I say to that degree yet. But I aspire to that, And you talked about, aging and, aging gracefully too, I would say. So let's talk a little bit about what is the energy like in Costa Rica? And then we wanted to talk a little bit about veganism. My fiance and I vegans, it's not strict. I was a vegetarian for, I don't know, years now. I started, the reason I quit though, is not like a political thing. I just finally got on my practice in my path that the meat would just drag my energy down low. It was just that simple. I just would feel like I was hungover and low energy and really kind of down when I ate it. It's just as simple as that. And when I didn't eat it, then I felt, like I had more energy for the most part. It's not as simple as that. And I also preface this with, I can't just be like, a vegan mafia here. I just, if people are getting sick, it's funny. Somebody, if people are getting sick, I say you have to take care of yourself. If you get sick from not eating meat, well, then you can't just go cold turkey and kill yourself that way. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but you have to take care of yourself, and it's kind of a practice into these things. And don't just quit it all and then get sick and stuff. So exactly.
No,
so
that's not how to do it. That's not how to do it. Okay, so the thing about going through the years, and now I feel like most people gawk when they say, how long have you been on the earth? And I give them the number, and my birthday's next month. So whenever this is, it doesn't matter. Okay, I am in my 8th decade. Let's not get caught up on which piece. I am in my 8th decade. Someone told me I'm in my 9th decade because the number begins with an 8. So you'll go figure that out. I don't want to figure that out. Okay, that gets a little too arcane for me right now. It's just meh. Okay, and yes, I am. And I'm past the 0. And I'm not up to the 9 yet. So I'm in there. You have to love yourself. I'll give you a few things. You have to love yourself. That means even the stuff you go, ugh, I don't like that. Find a way to be and create peace with it. That's part of the quote unquote work that we all do, whatever one wants to call it. I never liked the word work. I had said when I changed decades a while ago that the guides told me that now I was only to do work I really wanted to. So I said, I don't want to work. That's ridiculous. I love working. I love doing readings. I love painting. I love doing podcasts. I love helping things. So I love doing the work I came here to do. I love it, and I would like more of it because 1, I am good at it, and 2, it helps people. And the more people I can help, the better the world is, the better we all are. So 1, love yourself. Find some kind of purpose in your life. That's more than I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom and blah, blah, blah. Okay? Why are you alive? Some people go, what's your why? What do you get out of bed for? Okay, whatever it might be. And it might be, I want to breathe. I want to jump up and down. Well, then that's it. It's to have joy. It's to have beauty. So that's part of going through it. Eat well, okay, whatever that is for you. Me, I have been, okay, I'm going to use a big number. I have been vegetarian for over 50 years, which is mind-blowing to me. So if you think it's like, it is to me, I throw out numbers and I go, oh my heavens, look at what I'm saying. And then I laugh and then I move on because it's just what it is. I have been mostly raw vegan, mostly. I eat nut butters. I eat things like that. I make my own crackers. Sometimes I eat bread because I drink a lot of coconut water from the coconut. They call it pipa here. I'm in Costa Rica. Okay, cocoa, and I drink a lot. And if you drink a lot, and everyone thinks I'm little because I'm 4'10" and I weigh, give or take, 94 pounds, something. I'm not sure. I haven't weighed myself recently. So there's just so much I can drink before I am having a stomach that needs to release. So I need to sometimes, or at the moment, I sometimes eat bread or something. So some of that yuck doesn't happen because I don't like it. Okay. So find a healthful way to eat. Do I recommend vegetarian? I do. Okay. If you need to eat meat, if that's something or that kind of stuff, for heaven's sakes, please, please, please know how that animal was raised, know how it was killed, because when you eat an animal, you're getting the death throes and fear and anger of that animal within you. So do something to help clear yourself. Bless the animal, bless the food. I bless my food. I give thanks all the time. And in my opinion, I eat well. If you don't want to eat the way I eat, don't. It's your choice. Okay. When I see, and I have to tell you, I laugh at this. So you're going to see part of me is a little sardonic. I'm telling you that right up front. All these new vegans, and I laugh because they're like a third my age or whatever. It's like, hey, you're the expert. And they might be. Okay, I don't have 50,000 degrees in it. I've got years of living it is what I've got. And having eaten other stuff before. And eat what agrees with you. Find something as best as possible that's organically grown. Find something, bless your food. If at all possible, eat it raw. I don't know that I need to mention this, but I will because it's a thing. There's plastic in almost everything. Okay, microplastics, whatever the latest terms are, whatever it all is. There's other kind of stuff I just read today that there's poison, plastic, blech, in milk, okay, in water, in food. That doesn't mean you don't have it. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. The water goes up into the clouds. It moves around. They don't just sit there. It rains. It goes into the rivers. It goes under the blah, 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 blah. So nobody is exempt. Nobody. Okay? So bless it all. Dr. Emoto, I forgot his name, you might know who he is. When
Yes.
you bless your water, the crystalline of the water changes. Bless the water. Thank it. Tell it it's a miracle, and then drink it. I have a special machine, my SD501, that we can't even connect yet because the what do you call it? However you attach it to the sink is a different size, the faucet, than it is in the States. I'm still figuring out. I'm not a plumber. I am so not a plumber. I'm finding the right people to help fix that. And things here have different pricing than in the United States, very different. This is not the States. And so what else about, quote, going through the years? Find something you love. Connect to the infinite, whatever you call it. I call it spirituality. I don't care what you call it. Energetically connect on some level. I meditate and pray and do breathing attunements, and now I'm doing tapping pretty much every single day. And it isn't like, oh, you got there, you don't have to anymore. Yeah, you do. Okay, you may change some of your practice, but have some practice. And the guy I'm now using for tapping, and I teach tapping in my courses. It's not like I don't. Okay, but for the moment, I'm going to give his name, Brad Yates. I think he's amazing. YouTube, Brad Yates tapping, and then go fly with it. And so you do that, you find something you like. Take care of the earth, be in nature, do something. Be barefoot if you can, on the grass, on the land, on something. I'm in Costa Rica. I go to the beach. I mean, I can walk to the water and go in it if I want to, or sit in the sand and just look at the sky and the
Beautiful.
sea. That helps open my whole heart and my energy. So I take it in, and yes, I send it to my sister. No question. And to anyone else, okay? So allow that. There are other things. When I'm allowed to mention any of the books I've written, if you're up, I'm allowed to let me.
Yes. Why don't we start wrapping this up, Audrey? And it's been
Okay.
so beautiful to having you here today and gleaning all your wisdom and all the things you're into. We didn't talk about your art, but if you want to mention a little bit about that, and then why don't you start wrapping this up? Beautiful. And tell people, anything you want to promote, anything you want to draw people's attention to, tell people about your courses, your website, how they can get in touch with you, how they can work with you if they want, if you have any specials going on, any events coming up,
Okay.
and anything else, and then take us out on a message after all that. And
Okay.
then what
Thank
final message would you like to leave us with?
you.
Leave
Okay.
the audience
So
with? Yes.
thank you. My name is Audrey. I spell it Audrye. I do have a website. My guy should be back soon from Germany. I'm working on it again. It's called Audrey Now, AudryeNow.com. Those are American prices. I am willing to change whatever. I am very open to that. I'm not the tech lady. The tech person has to do the tech. I'm not the tech lady. He's the tech guy. Okay. I have 4 books and I give away, which means it's free. I give away free samplers of each book. And the first one is The Mother's Manual, a spiritual and practical guide to child rearing and motherhood. So when some people say there's no guidebook, yeah, there is. And this is the one I wrote. And it has at least 24 pictures of full colored art because I'm an artist. And it has recipes because vegetarian and all of that stuff. And it starts from, so you're thinking to become a mom, all the way to your kid is now a mother or a father. So it covers all of that. And it's on the website. And I also sell like the little books, all part of the big book. What else do I do? Okay, I have created at the moment 3 online courses. I recommend, although you don't have to start with the Morph course, because someone asked me, what is the first thing you have to do on the growth journey? It's love yourself. So the first course is called Morph into the Magic of Self-Love. And you get there at Audrey Now, AudryeNow.com/morph, MORPH. And on the landing page, I give away something. I don't remember what. I certainly, I don't, I'm sorry. I have some kind of breathing attunement on all of them. They're not all the same. And then the second one, after I finished that and did some live stuff, this was when I was doing live stuff, okay, not in Costa Rica. I looked around and said, now what do we need? So the second one is called Sexuality, Sensuality, Spirituality, Stupendous Sex, Your Intimacy, Healing, Exuberance course. And that covers a multitude of stuff. And if you're wondering, have I been through stuff? I've been raped. I've been beaten. I've had I'm fine, okay? I've had a miscarriage. Did any of that ever come up? When, yeah, now and then I still have to clear a little. So I teach a lot of clearing in that. The courses are, what's that term? Content rich. And once you get the course, you can do it over and over and over and over and over again. I don't snatch it back. And that one is AudreyNow.com/sex. And the landing page will give away whatever I give away. And then after that one, and I did some courses, I thought, okay, now what? So this one is called Ism Freedom. Be free of the causes and effects of racism, sexism, and other isms. And that one is audreynow.com/ism, ISM. And with that course, you get a free copy of my book called Raising Race Consciousness, Healing Racism, Sexism, and Other Isms. And when you go to my website, guess what? Audrey Now, UDRYENOW.com, you can get free samplers, not the whole book, free samplers of any of my books. And so did I name all the books? So The Mother's Manual, a spiritual and practical guide to child rearing and motherhood. Vim, Vigor, Vitality, Vegan, plus a natural Kangen water. And the first half of that book is guidelines on how to live. think of it as suggestions, and the other recipes. Okay. And the third book is What If You Are and Life is Miraculous. That's my ABC affirmation art coloring book. And when I was printing it, now it's online, it was on 100% post consumer recycled paper. I may have about 25, I don't know, 30 copies of the book left, because when I say I love the planet, and I do, and I say it, and I live as ecologically as I can, I actually do my best to walk my talk. Am I always perfect? No. But I don't just say it. I'm not that kind of person. I'm pretty real. And then the fourth one I just said was Raising Race Consciousness. And I would take the course. Okay. And if somebody really wants any of this stuff, and I forget the exact prices, I can work any deal you want, provided I've got my tech guy, because I don't do that thing, so that anyone can have these courses. Where can you find me? These are some of my starter arts. This is when I was not painting. This is one of the most gorgeous things ever. The art that hasn't sold. This is the first painting I sold. This is a print. Okay,
Beautiful.
all of
Yeah.
them can be looked at in any direction. They were called Audrye Arbe art that opens the heart, because I'd start with an Om, meditate, lift my consciousness, my frequency, and they would happen. They would just grow. And I always wondered who painted these, who did them. Even when I was painting, I have big paintings, 5 feet by 4 feet. If you would like them, they are in Florida. Let me know. I have agents there. Okay, you can get them. What else do? I do readings. I do healings. I love doing that. I can do it anywhere. I do them online. We can use free conference call. All this is doable. My phone has a US SIM card. So if you're in the United States and you want to call me, it is a local call. And my number, I'm literally giving it to you, is 917 494 0628, which is a big giveaway that I'm from New York, 91 and Florida, and now Costa Rica, 917-494-0628. In terms of the vibe in Costa Rica, I'm living on the Caribbean African coast. I am right now in Puerto Viejo, which is renowned in many ways as a tourist attraction. I had checked out the Nicoya Peninsula, because, blue zone and all that, and I really liked it. And right up front, it was mostly white people. I like living multiculturally. I have lived multiculturally for, oh my God, since my 20s, 60 years. I'm not stopping now. And so I found more of that on the Caribbean African coast. The people here, on the whole, I have found to be open, especially when you do your best to speak Spanish. So yo hablo español como esto, no muy rápido, pero yo hablo más despacio y no muy complicado. So I can speak if people slow their roll, and will help me many things. If it's complicated, if it's scientific, if I'm doing readings, I mix it up with English so I can understand and they could understand. And I like the people. Not everyone, but that's anywhere. That's anywhere. I personally think that people here in some ways are more healthy than they are in the United States. It takes a little something to get your food here. And to me, and I've been organic for years, the food tastes better. I don't know if it's the air. I don't know if it's the earth. I'm not sure what it is, but what I can get tastes better. Did I cover everything I do?
Awesome. You covered a lot, so there's no shortage of offerings that are available for folks. So what kind of message would you like to leave folks with today?
Love yourself and love the planet. Avoid going into fear when you read or hear about blah, 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 blah is happening, blah, 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 with the big mouth, blah, 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 blah. Turn it off And instead of going into fear and upset and I'm going to get rid of them and all that, acknowledge if it's there. You can't, acknowledge, clear yourself. And instead, what is the world you choose to create? What is the world you choose to live in? What is the pure, positive, loving, exciting, interesting, wonderful, not boring, okay, interesting world we can create, especially Pluto in Aquarius right now and the other outer planets changing in the next few years? Focus on that. Create that. Create it visually inside yourself and take the actual steps in your life to have it happen. Don't just sit. If you get depressed or whatever, call me. I know how to shift energy. I know how to
You're
help you do that.
so beautiful, Audrey. Again, I appreciate everything you're doing, everything you bring to this earth and to people, and your energy, your longevity, and so much, and creativity. And so, may all beings out there live long and happy. May you all live a long and peaceful and fulfilling life. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.